One of the most fun things about living on a boat is that we get to call some quite unusual places home. We've just arrived at a mooring that I've been swooning over ever since I first saw it over a year ago. So home for the next 2 days is Great Linford Manor Park in Milton Keynes. This place is so dreamy, it almost feels like we aren't allowed to be here. But for the next 48 hours, it's all ours. In a previous vlog, when we passed here, I called this the Soho House of Moorings, but I was obviously just being facetious. The Soho House is not that exclusive, they'll let anyone in. Not so at Linford Manor Park. There's an extensive waiting list for a very limited number of long-term moorings, and to get on the waiting list, you need to submit a current photo of your boat, and presumably get judged thoroughly. So even though we're just in the visitor moorings, temporarily, as soon as we moored up, Andrew was out there cleaning the boat, so we didn't bring the tone down. Oh, it's chicks.
The sun's out, the sun's shining on all the surfaces and showing how dirty it is from all the coal dust and everything like that over winter. So this is a spring clean, and what's so joyful about the boat is that I think in the old flats everywhere we've lived, it's always felt a bit more like, I don't know, difficult to kind of do a clean. But on the boat, because you're so precise with everything that you own, you don't have too much stuff, we can kind of sweep down the boat and hopefully in a few hours get things spick and span.
And you can reach everywhere.
Exactly, yeah, that's a great point, because our old flat, the ceilings were so high, you couldn't do it. So.
That's very, my diamond shoes are too tight.
I know. But
my ceilings were far too high for me to reach.
They were about what?
However, they were, well, yes.
3-4 metres? It was
Our
huge,
ceilings were so high, there was no lights in them because no one could reach them.
Yeah.
But here, you could touch the ceiling.
And we're about to.
Demonstrate. Boom. There you go. So yes, it's really nice to have a little clean. Crack on with it. I've been working on the kitchen.
You've done amazing.
But I might have a little break and go and do my journaling outside. Oh yes, this is Newport Pagnell.
Oh,
So
well,
this part,
this can't be Newport Pagnell, right?
it's just
Because Newport Pagnell is like in Wales.
no, the village not deep.
Is it?
I think so.
It's from a Smith song. Lost me something in Newport Pagnell.
Did you just think it sounded Welsh?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe there's another one. nice. Oh, I think we need to follow it. I think we're now on a quest.
It's giving you a side mission.
It's giving me a side quest. I think this is the sheep's gaze, so we have to follow it.
So we're following the sheep's gaze like it said.
Yes, and then it's going to tell us about the ha-ha wall, I think.
The ha-ha wall?
Yeah, we know about it because of the Libertines song, obviously. It's over there. Let's go. You've learnt a lot today. Between this and Newport Pagnell. You didn't say anything about the wall. Which sheep did it tell me to follow, though?
We're going to have to come back to this tomorrow, I think.
This side quest is too much for me. I'm already giving up.
Yeah, all side quests can usually be left and then you can just come back to them later.
That's true.
Okay, she's found it.
This is what we were looking for. I don't think we can see it because it just says it's a sunken wall. But I think it's not visible because of the greenery and vegetation. But this is it. So it's a sunken wall that just goes off a thing so the sheep don't do something. So it's made to be unseen from the nice side so it doesn't ruin the view. Oh, I see. So it's like a hidden ditch basically. Huh, so you can't see it, but it's there. Later that evening, Andrew took advantage of the relatively secluded and roomy area, boatside, to indulge in some VR. Just like the traditional boaters used to do.
Just going to see if it works. Right, I'm going to do one round of Beat Saber. How do I look?
Amazing.
This is what traditional boaters would have done if they had VR. Wow. That works.
How was it?
Stunning.
I don't know why more people don't do it in wide open spaces.
Love it. Right, proof of concept is done.
Amazing.
Okay.
Pioneering. Slow process. Okay.
As is normal, we've come across a book exchange. This one seems to have every Dick Francis book known to man.
Or a huge amount of Dick Francis books. Now, I've never read a Dick Francis book. Andrew tells me they're quite horsey. horsey
correct.
thrillers. This
So
looks-
let's just
first of all, incredible
how many
design.
can you spot? I can count 1, 2,
One,
3, 4, 5,
2.
6, 7, 8.
Well, I can't, it's too many.
To your right.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Blimey.
Who looked at their entire collection?
I've ruined it. I've ruined everything. It's step-by-step fondues. I wasn't sure there was that many steps to fondue.
We do actually still have a fondue maker at my mum's.
We do?
So maybe we need that book. Maybe
Oh my
this is
God.
destiny.
Look, it's like all different kinds of fondue. Wow. This is like the most, late 70s thing you've ever seen? Maybe even 80s, right? 95.
Wow, okay. Maybe we're completely wrong.
I feel like by that point fondue was kind of over. Leek puree, that sounds vile. Wow, this is quite incredible. Apart from the manor house, which is now privately owned, the rest of the park has been public since the 1970s. It's managed by the Parks Trust, which is a charity that looks after lots of the green spaces in Milton Keynes. And the way it looks now is actually a relatively recent iteration of the park, because it underwent major restoration just a couple of years ago. And it is immaculate. The overall effect is very much that we've been transported into the middle of a country estate. You may already know that Milton Keynes as a city is very new. It was only created in the 1960s. But it incorporated existing towns and villages that are very old indeed. We know that people have lived here for at least 1300 years because archaeologists have found traces of a Saxon settlement. And of course, like all hot villages, Great Linford appeared in the Domesday Book of 1086. Alongside the main manor, there are a few other different buildings here. Most prominent from the canal are the almshouses. And there's also a church, which is the oldest building in the site. It might have originated all the way from the Saxon period, they're not sure. The manor house came much later, in the late 1600s, when a man called Sir William Pritchard bought the estate. He was a London merchant who'd done very well for himself, so he decided to build himself a proper country house to match. This was basically a 17th century status symbol. It was proof that he had risen in status from simple merchant to landed gentry, something to show off to his rich mates and pass on to the next generation. The almshouses were built around 1696 and they provided housing and a schoolhouse for locals in need. Because in the olden days, rich people flexed their wealth by building stuff, presumably because they hadn't come up with private jets and super yachts yet. The manor originally had formal gardens, think like a mini Versailles. But by the 1700s, formal gardens were so over, so they were redesigned in the more fashionable English landscape pleasure garden style. They designed the gardens as an idealised pastoral landscape, a more rustic vibe, with little areas of faux wilderness, which was very on trend at the time. What we see now is the restored version of the 18th century pleasure gardens, with some newer additions like the sculptures and the artworks dotted around. And it's so nice that it's a public space where anyone can come and walk their dog or just sit quietly and have this amazing escape from the city nearby. The manor and the grounds were then more or less unchanged until the bloody canal came along. I should have mentioned, the canal wasn't here at that point. In the 1800s, the powers that be at the canal company, it was called the Grand Junction Canal at that point, decided to slap this canal right here, and the manor owners were absolutely furious, as you can imagine, because it literally went through the middle of their charming pleasure gardens. At the time, the canal wasn't used for pleasure, it was used for industry, so all of their lovely rural views were gone. The estate got cut in two, and that was really the beginning of its decline. In the mid-1980s, the manor was turned into a recording studio, and quite a few famous albums were recorded here over the next decade. An insane fact that I found out while doing research for this, because this was not on a plaque in the grounds, believe it or not, I think it definitely should be. The 2001 album, Echo Park by Feeder, was recorded at Great Linford Manor, and the song Buck Rogers, which is a certified banger, references the record studio owner at the time, Pete Winkleman's, black Jaguar parked at the manor. I have not been able to confirm whether it had leather seats or a CD player. This is truly not knowledge I would have ever acquired in the course of my life if we hadn't moored here, yet for which I'm so grateful. It's a linden. Wow. 450 years old. Incredible. We had the most peaceful couple of days here. It was like a little pocket of tranquility, which was exactly what we needed before we headed further into the madness of London. Next time, we're moving again. And we have quite a special time again. We're really on a roll on this trip. See you then.